Got our brand new grouter in yesterday. That'll be for a later video. But Mike's got our trucks looking real good. Spent all day yesterday shining them up and took the rig outside, cleaned out the radiator, all the dust. So got that all looking good. We're gonna head out and cut us a hole today. And we're gonna knock out a couple service calls once we get all done drilling. All right, we're here at the job. Look, we're realizing we don't have much room to turn around. We'll be able to make it somehow. They don't want us on their concrete. Yeah, I would say pull in there, Mike, and then you'll back up here to these trees, and then pull in again, and then we'll just do a bunch of K-turns. Other way, there you go. Come on.
That's good right there.
Good. The first thing we do on every job is put the wood underneath the jack pads and elevate the rig. And then it's time to raise the derrick on the drilling rig. I have this footage here sped up a little bit because it takes quite a while for the mast to get fully erect. And here we've got our wing bit. This cuts the first initial 20-foot hole, and this is foot number 1. We noticed as drilling the wing bit about 2 to 3 feet into the ground, we ran into a very, very heavy clay formation. It's almost like the consistency of old Play-Doh. It is a very, very dangerous type of material to drill in because it binds up all around the wing bit and around the hammer. And what can actually happen, the amount of air that we're injecting into the ground, it can lift the entire ground below the rig, and it can actually lift it up. You know, you can feel it in your feet, but it can, in worst case scenarios, it can actually tip the drilling rig over. So when we run into a clay formation like that, we just have to take our time. We cut about 12 inches, we bring the bit up, we clean it off, we cut another 12 inches, we bring it up, we clean it off. But luckily, after we got about 5 foot into it, we ran into pretty good competent sedimentary rock and some dirt. Now we've cut our first initial 20-foot pilot hole, and now we put in our 8-inch hammer with our 10-inch bit. If you remember the previous video, that hammer right there is the one that we broke the head off of that large bit. So we cut our first initial 20-foot hole with the wing bit, and then we stick that bit and that hammer down in the ground, and that's where we go. We drill through sedimentary rock with it until we find solid bedrock, solid granite. From there, we'll set casing, and then we'll stick our smaller 6-inch hammer inside the casing. But I'll show you that here in a minute. As you can tell, we've already ran into competent rock. Now, we're only about 25 feet into the ground right now. We've only got the 7-foot hammer and one 20-foot drill rod on, and we're not even all the way to the bottom of the 27-foot mark. So we're about 24 foot and we hit solid rock. Now what I decided to do was not set 30 foot of casing. I decided to drill it a little bit further, and we ended up setting around 40 foot of casing here. Once we run into rock, it becomes time to start injecting drill foam. And as you can tell here, all of the suds, that is drill foam. The drill foam mixes with the water in the air, and it helps to allow to lift the rock chips out of the well where it doesn't bind up the hammer and it doesn't bind up the bit. So we always pay attention right there, rotation pressures. We want to make sure our rotation pressures are good, and we want to make sure our air pressure is good, where we know that the hole itself is not blocking up. If we see too high a pressure, that means the hole is not exhausting. That means we could be, detrimental. The hole could start caving in, collapse, whatever. So we got to monitor our pressures, and we got to monitor our rotation pressures. Now here we're looking for basically blue granite. I don't find it here. This is a rock test of around 30 feet. I didn't like the way it looked, so I decided to keep on going to find better granite to set the casing in. Now we're around 38 foot and we just did another rock sample test. If you notice, this right here was the sample from 30 feet. And then I'm going to move over here to the sample on the left, which was the sample at 38 feet. Notice the difference in the color of the stone. That is blue-gray granite, where the other is kind of whitish color. That is competent bedrock. And basically you put a piece in your hand, see if you can break it. If you can break it, it's not strong enough to support the casing. And that's what I like to look for. Now it's time to trip out, make sure the hole is clean, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to set casing. Okay, we got casing all set and Dad's drilling, so we are headed to do 2 service calls. One of them they have 3 wells, and another one they have 1 well that feeds like 11 homes. So I don't really know what we're about to get into, but we're gonna go check it out. Okay, we have found pump house number 1 and a giant drive shaft. Now this looks like a 109 gallon tank. And it's got a low pressure cutout switch on it, and a regular old 6 1/4 well. Looks like they got 2 lines leaving here and 1 line leaving there. Ain't no telling what could be the problem with these. See if there's... Alright, that's no go there. They got any... May not be any power in this building. So apparently this trailer park has 3 wells, only 1 works and the other 2 don't, and they want us to hydrofrack the one that works, and they want us to see what's wrong with these. But so far the owner of the property hasn't gotten back with me. So alright, well, we've seen one. We're gonna go take a look at another now. Okay, yeah, look, there's not even a meter in the meter box, so that's why this one's not gonna work.
Yep.
Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, so this is going to be pump house number 2. This place is in the middle of nowhere. Like, you would have never expected to come back here and find a trailer park. Alright. Okie dokie. Make sure we ain't got no friendly snakes or no raccoons living in here. Man, that is some shoddy stuff. Look at that. Just like the others, there's 3 pipes going in the ground. Everything is insulated. But damn, that tank looks like it's 35 years old. So does that pressure gauge. Let's just take this off. See what that looks like. Okay, yeah, that's really, really old. Flathead screws. See if we can find a code date on that thing. 86 model. That's old.
86 model.
Yeah.
Some green beans in there.
Is some green beans in there? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say everything about this place needs an update. But I can't believe they have 3 wells.
Got heat tape on it.
Okay. Time to go find well number 3. Alright, so we'll designate this well as well number 2. We'll designate the well over there behind the Suburban as well number 1. And then we'll designate the 3rd well, well number 3, which is the one that they're working on, or the one that is actually working. I know, right? Alright, so well number 3. Can't do nothing. So now we're waiting at the mercy of the owner to pick up the phone. They should have had all this unlocked. They knew we were coming. Now this is really blowing my mind. This one ain't got no meter in it neither. Well, the padlock locked it on this side, but if they don't have the other side mounted into the block, all that's for no reason. Okay, cool. Still no lights, even though that's there. They must be getting power from somewhere else.
Yeah, I see it coming in.
They gotta be getting power from somewhere else. Okay, new tank. Got one 1-inch line leaving, so this must go up to the other pump house and it divides it. Wow, it's just a regular old residential system feeding 11 houses. Okay, this won't be too bad to diagnose. Oh, the rim, wow, yeah. Yeah, they rigged it up for pulling it out.
They must have recently done that.
Wow, yeah, it's new wood. Somebody's been watching my YouTube videos. I'm telling them to use a car rim, and that's literally what they got. They got a car rim, they got a steel pipe. They got it rigged up. Got it rigged up. Alright, we're going to lift this thing up and camera it and see what we find. Alright, so Justin just spotted this. It was drilled in 1986 to 265 feet, and it yields 12 gallons per minute. Down there at the bottom it says 12 gallons per minute. So this well no longer makes 12 gallons per minute. So what I'm thinking is, with the rock drop test, I mean, hell, that it's damn near 260 foot. So this pump is probably sitting on the bottom, and maybe wherever they hit water, they stopped drilling. And that was, you know, what is that, 35 years ago? 30, 37, 38 years ago. Yeah, so maybe the well silted in over top of the aquifer, possibly. Or they put such a hard demand on it, it's no longer making 12 gallons a minute. So, okay, well, we got a little bit of information on this. All right, so this is going to be my crazy solution to what I got going on here. I'm going to use the roof and a ratchet strap. I'm going to try to jack up the well seal, take the load off the clamps to where I can slide the well seal up, support the system with the strap, and then I can send camera down the well and make sure that the metal casing isn't rotted out. Now my thought we were talking about is we can either drill this well deeper, since it's only 260 foot, or we can frack it. Theoretically, I would suggest drilling it deeper first to see if it makes water naturally, and then we can frack it. But I want to make sure, since the casing is already 38 years old, that the casing isn't rotted out. If the casing is rotted out, that's bringing in, you know, turbidity, it's bringing in surface water, it's bringing in surface dirt, all that could fill in the well. There's no sense in drilling a well deeper if the casing has already failed. So the average life expectancy of galvanized casings 50 years, and we're already at 38. So I need to, you know, look at it and get a good visual before we decide what we want to do here. All right, Justin's going to go get my 300-foot tape. We're going to measure the depth of the well, and then we're going to camera it. So luckily we were able to get it up, and we can do a little bit of investigating. It's dangerous as shit right now. Makes me nervous because I got that strap, and I got it up there holding on that board. We're relying on 4 screws and a 38-year-old 2x4 to hold this up. If something breaks, then it won't go down the well. I got enough clamps on it, but it's going to break. It would break one of those 90s over there. And unfortunately, there's no way to cut this system off. They got main power coming in right over there in the wall, and they don't have any breaker. All right, so we're measuring it with the measuring tape, and so far I'm at 225 foot. It's giving me a hell of a problem. They put those hole sooner rings like every 10 foot, so it's been tough to get it down. Now I finally reached a point where it just feels right there. That feels like the bottom of the hole. It's just pulling it down this far. That's why you got to pull it up, and it stops right there. Right there.
Still doing right much then.
Yeah, 226 foot, and it used to be 266, so that means possibly 40 feet is full of sediment. which would make sense. They drilled it 40 foot past where they got water, and it's built up over that point. Okay, I just got done talking with the daughter of the owner of all this. He is too old, he's 85, so she's taking all this over. Now, they have had 3 people besides us come out here, and the last guy recommended us to come out here. So basically, my thought is exactly what he thought, and he wanted us to come out here and verify it. So that's the same thing I came up with. He thought that the well had filled in some, had collapsed, filled in with sediment, whatever, and that's basically the same conclusion that I've came up with. And I talked to her about, you know, tearing down the pump house, drilling the well deeper, but by the time you do that, you invest money into an old hole. If the well, you know, magically started making 12 gallons a minute again, great, but we would drill it deeper. And then, why did this one fill in with sediment? So then we now still have the same issue with it filling in with sediment, even if we drilled this one deeper. So then we would probably have to line the well with a 4-inch liner to block out all the galvanized casing. So at that point, drilling this well deeper, you're stuck with the 40-year-old casing, and you've almost invested more money into an older hole. So the best case scenario for cost-wise would be to drill a brand new hole, probably, you know, 20 foot in front of this pump house, and then trench in a water line and tie it into that, and then go from there. I think that'd probably be the best bet. That way you get rid of the 40-some-year-old metal casing, and you can drill a brand new hole, and this well will continue to service the trailer park while we construct the new well. Because if you had to do this, theoretically the entire trailer park would be without water for a minimum of 4 days. Because you got to come down here, tear the pump house down, pull the pump out, fill the well full of water to get the pump out. Then you have to set the drilling rig back up on it, drill it to the bottom. You could get to 400 foot day 1. If you're lucky, then you'd have to come back and bring a liner in, and you would have to cement the liner in, allow time for the liner to be cemented in, and then come back another day and trench in the water line and all that. It's just, and then rebuild the pump house. It's just a nightmare. So they've got a lot to think about, and we've got another job to go to. So there's the job that got hit.
Continue on Warrenton Road for 2 miles.
When they were running from the cops. That gives y'all a perspective of where we're at. Alright. So it was only about 18 minutes from one trailer park to another, believe it or not. So job number 3 for today. And the reason why we're here is because the homeowner or the landowner of the trailer park noticed that the electric bill for the well has been multiple times higher than it's typically. So normally in a situation like that where the electric bill becomes higher, there's 2 possibilities. Either you got a bad bladder tank and the pump cycles on and off way more frequently, or you have a hole in the drop pipe and that's constantly building the system up and then leaking all the pressure back down through the hole in the drop pipe. So I'm here now, and I'm about to enter the pump house and figure out exactly what the problem is. Kind of something cool and ironic. One of my real good friends from high school, he's no longer with us. He passed away about, I don't know, 10 years ago now. His father lived right there. I haven't been here since I was probably 17 or 18 years old, but kind of brought back some emotions that I haven't felt in a while coming here. Wow, look at them spiders. Them things are nasty. That's scary looking. All right. Some big tanks. Making sure. Okay, the pump must be in the doodad over there. Oh, it's just steady running. It's on right now, dude.
Really?
Yep. Let's hear. See if I can hear it. I can hear it leaking. I can hear it leaking. Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and take that cover off. Tank may be okay. Maybe really, really low on air. Those tanks should really ring like a bell more than they are, but I can hear whatever's leaking over there. I don't know. Alright, so there's our well. And I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I can hear it. It's literally spraying right underneath it. So there's a hole in the drop pipe not far below that. But unfortunately, we got to get a crane in here. We got to set up a crane down in here in order to lift this thing up. Wow, look at that. They had a fire here. Wow. Whatever they had. They may have had an electrical fire or something. That's crazy, dude. Hey, did you notice this place caught on fire? Wait till you notice it. Alright, so I manually turned off the pressure switch. And I'm trying to see. Okay, it won't build up enough pressure because it's got a hole in the pipe. But there's a check valve right there, so that's preventing the system from draining back. But right now, what's happening is all the pressure in the well is draining in. So what I can do just for temporarily, since we do know it does build 57 PSI, I can go ahead and adjust the pressure switch down some to where it'll actually cut itself off. So Justin, I need, just bring me my tool bag and I'll be able to adjust that. Yeah, look, it satisfied the switch. Once I pulled it open, now let's turn it back on. Doing it again. Okay, now you'll hear water hammer. Ah, see, it's hammering. You gotta hold it. Yeah, it does not like that. What it's doing, that check valve right there, it may be holding and it may not be holding. The water hammer effect is making the check valve move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So let's see. All right, it's 1 1/4 everything. Man, it's slightly warm. It's not cold like it should be. Okay. You can hear it. I mean, I can hear it spraying over there. It's okay, it's got a Grumpus, 3 horsepower Grumpus in it. Okay. All right. Well, at least I know that we need some 1 1/4 drop pipe because it looks like it's got a newer model pump in it. All right, I'm gonna try to turn down the pressure switch to save it for now until we can get back here with the crane. Yeah, we're just noticing inside the pump house that all of this has seemingly been part of the fire, and the only thing we can assume is the old system, because that's where it caught on fire at. The old system, the control box probably caught the wall on fire, some form or fashion. All right, we're gonna go ahead and drain these tanks and check the air level in them because it's water hammering so bad that it can't run like this. That water hammer effect theoretically is what could have caught the other control box on fire. And no one's, ever checked the air pressure in the tank. Because you've got gigantic tanks that are waterlogged. No, that's fine. That big...
That's probably going to backfeed from all the...
maybe, yeah. Go ahead and cut it off. I'd be afraid that, I'd be breaking a water valve, but... Look at that pipe right there, man. It's melted. See that T?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's melted. I can't believe it wasn't replumbed. Oh wow, you were right. It was.
I thought that was a lot of water.
It was pressurized water coming back. Yeah. So these tanks. Oh man, are they bad? Yep, that one's dead. That one's super heavy. That one's super heavy. Okay, both tanks are bad too. Son of a gun. All right. For now, we're gonna put air in these things and try to put a Band-Aid on it until we can order in 2 big tanks and what we need. Yeah, that water smells horrible. Stagnant water, has been trapped in the tank. All right, we need the air compressor. Alright, well, what I tried didn't work because the tanks are bad. So the waterlogged tank is causing a 3 horsepower pump to short cycle, and that's essentially probably what caused the fire to begin with. Back when that happened, that's probably when they swapped all this stuff out. So we've got 2 bad tanks. These have to get replaced. All that plumbing's going to go. I'm going to put a check valve in front of the gate valve there because now we have pressure that comes from down the hill. There should be a check valve there, not only a check valve there. So we need to put one there. We'll replace the gate valve. We'll replace any of the pipe that got burnt in the fire. Then we'll put 2 brand new tanks in here. The galvanized nipple here, that needs to be replaced. All that's changed over to brass. I already have a heavy duty switch in stock, so we'll replace it. It'll get 2 new check valves, a new gate valve, a new boiler drain, and we'll have to bring the crane down here and pull the pump out. And since the drop pipe has already failed, we're gonna have to go ahead and replace the drop pipe too. So the only thing I see that's good here is the Grumpus control box and probably the Grumpus pump down in the well. So unfortunately, it's been running non-stop for who knows how long, but it's not deadheading. It's chilling at 55 psi, so at least it's sitting down in water and they're using it, so it's not terribly hot. You can tell the pipe's not 55 degrees when you touch it, but it's probably like 75, 80 degrees. So it is warming the water up a little bit down there. But we're gonna put the lid back on, and oh, here's the information here. 3 horsepower. It says 298 foot, so we can assume that it's 300 feet, and we'll order in that much pipe. We'll see if they want us to replace the pump or not. But the pipe's got to be replaced, and the tank's got to be replaced, and then all the valve assembly has to be replaced. So that'll be more for another day. Alright, so we got the service calls all taken care of, and we are back at the drill site. The guys are, let's see how deep they are. They are 325 foot at this point. And Dad had called and said he had a boatload of water, and I can see all the water dumping out the bottom of the skirt now. So looks like we got a good well here, and we're lucky because the well right next door is 605 foot and only makes a gallon a minute. So we are half that depth with probably, it looks like 8 or 10 gallons a minute. So we're gonna go ahead and get out now. We're gonna trip out, and we got a well to grout, and we gotta hurry up because we've only got about an hour and 10 more minutes of daylight. Well, that's gonna be it for today's video. We're back here at the shop now. I gotta unload everything. I feel like I went around the world today. Drilled a well and went to 2 different trailer parks. Looked at, in total, 4 different wells. 5 if you include the new one. But we're all finished. I've got a lot of pricing and estimating and quoting to do, but that'll be for another day. So if y'all enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.